In a park in Brussels, not far from the headquarters of the European Union, volunteers help dozens of refugees to find shelter from the cold. Sudanese, Eritrean, Ethiopian, most say they've endured terrible journeys to reach Europe, like Daniel, who's been here for 3 months.
Fighting. No work, no democracy.
As refugees continue to arrive on their doorstep, European leaders scramble for ways to stop more coming. Their latest strategy is to offer African countries more development aid if they crack down on migration.
And when I talk with our African partners about the future, it's not development that comes up more often. It's other two words: investment and security.
The EU is the biggest donor of aid to Africa, giving 20 billion euros a year. But some members of the European Parliament are frustrated that some of the money is being used to manage Europe's refugee crisis rather than to alleviate poverty.
The European Parliament has been very clear about that. We don't think development aid funding should be spent on border controls. We want development aid funding spent on the ground, doing what development aid should do, which is reducing poverty in the world and making people's lives better.
Critics say EU money is also fueling already chaotic situations. Europe has funded tighter border control in Libya. Fewer refugees are crossing the Mediterranean Sea, but Libya's become a bottleneck for others who are vulnerable to slave traders and people traffickers. Youth workers in Africa say African and EU leaders are favouring quick fixes over long-term solutions.
We cannot continue a partnership that does not benefit our people. What is more important is for Europe and Africa to look each other in the eyes and say, what do we want? Is it economic partnership? Is it political partnership? Is it what do we need exactly?
European and African Union leaders hope that their first summit in Abidjan will usher in what they call a new era in relations, one based on equality. But once the handshakes and the greetings are over, there is no doubt that after the latest revelations from Libya, that it is migration which will dominate the agenda. Natacha Butler, Al Jazeera, Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso.